If our Singapore tracking station is correct about the rocket not landing in Russia, then where did it land?
I am a trifle disappointed at the ease with which I could pull you in.
Kill him.
Get down!
I never take any risks.
I think you are taking one now.
I am.
This damn thing could blow up into a full-scale war.
I think I will.
Kill Bond, now!
You have a lot of energy for a dead man, Mr. Bond.
How's it going out there, YouTube world? How's it going? Oh yeah! Woohoo! Anyways, let's be serious here. Now, be serious. Anyways, so, welcome to an all-new movie review. This will be my 5th outing and 5th film in the awesome James Bond review-a-thon I am doing at the moment. So we're going to get right into that James Bond film. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the awesome videos I put up or any of the videos I put up. Maybe they're not awesome. I don't know. I think they are. You never know. But anyways, let's get right in this and see what it's all about. Welcome one and all to an all-new movie review. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing the 5th James Bond film in my James Bond review-a-thon here. And of course that happens to be another Sean Connery classic known as You Only Live Twice. Oh yeah. So after the disappointment of Thunderball, going into You Only Live Twice, I wasn't too sure about it. But you know what? It wasn't too shabby, people. Not too bad. I was actually really impressed with this film. I thought it was pretty decent and pretty fun. Now, this happens to be directed by his first outing as a James Bond director, none other than a gentleman that goes by the name of Louis Gilbert. Oh yeah, Louis Gilbert. So Louis Gilbert actually directed a couple of the other Bond films later down the road as well, but he has directed a few great films over the years, some that were epic, war films, some that were comedy, some that were rom-com type of deal. He's directed quite a few. A couple that I am aware of, I haven't actually seen either of these, but are considered two great films. The first one is a 1960s film that is a war film and about the amazing battleship that, unfortunately got lost during one of the world wars. And then, of course, the film called Sink the Bismarck. Oh yeah, Sink the Bismarck. Oh yeah, so the Bismarck was a World War II ship that was lost in battle. That was an amazing battleship that got through a lot of the huge wars and battles that happened during World War II. And this film is none other than kind of a recreation of what happened to the Bismarck and stuff like that, and kind of, how she got her demise and that kind of deal. And from what I've recollected about it too, it seems like just a really outstandingly done film that got a lot of recognition for being so accurate too as well. If you haven't seen Sink the Bismarck, definitely give it a whirl, people, and let me know down in the comments if you have seen it and what you think of it. Now, the second film that Louis Gilbert directed is another film that I haven't had a chance to check out, but I consider to sound and be an interesting and fun kind of comedy rom-com type of deal. They actually did a remake of it in the 2000s with none other than Mr. Watson himself from the Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. That film happens to be called the 1966 version, Alfie. Oh yeah, Alfie. Ooh. So like I was saying, Jude Law did a remake of it in the early 2000s. The original is with the amazing, awesome Sir Michael Caine. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to see this. I have seen the trailer a few times. This looks like a really fun and fantastic film. Louis Gilbert, I heard, directed the crap out of it. Just from the trailer, he looked like he gave it a really good go, gave us a really fun film. Michael Caine got really great praise for this film. It has a great ensemble cast. It has a great, screenplay. It's just one of those films that, is considered a great cult classic. And it's definitely something I need to check out eventually, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. If you haven't seen Alfie, give it a try, people. And if you have seen it, let me know down in the comments what you think of it. Now, when it comes to directing You Only Live Twice, I thought Lewis did a really great job with this film. I thought he brought it to the same level as Guy Hamilton did with Goldfinger, and his subsequent, James Bond films, and it had that kind of camp to it with lots of great action, lots of great scenery, and just amazingly done sets. And I thought that Lewis just gave it a really great direction and gave us a really fun James Bond film. Really impressed with his directing and looking forward to checking out his other directing in the James Bond series. So this film comes with an interesting cast. Not a huge cast, but definitely some great actors and actresses that really brought to life this film. Now to start us off, of course, is Mr. James Bond himself, Mr. Sean Connery. Oh yeah! Oh, Sean Connery! That's not what your mother said last night, Trebek. Love that. Anyway, so Sean Connery, he's amazing, he's awesome, he was an amazing actor, made so many great films over the years. And this time around, for a couple of films that, he was in, these films I feel I don't hear much about. I did when they first came out back in their time, but as time has gone on, you don't really hear a lot of people, talk about these films for Sean Connery versus, like, say, certain films like The Hunt for Red October, the Indiana Jones, the James Bond films, and so forth. But a couple of these, I think, are just really great films that should get more recognition and you should definitely check out. So the first film happens to be a film that came out in 1992 called, wait for it, The Medicine Man. Ooh, Medicine Man. I remember this movie was so super huge when it came out in 1992. I remember people thought that, Sean Connery was so amazing in it. He was awesome. And, basically this, movie about this guy out in the rainforest trying to save the world kind of deal. But ends up having his own crisis and he has to be helped himself and stuff like that. It just was one of those films that, a lot of people got behind and thought was just really fantastic. And I thought this was an interesting movie. I definitely think it's one of his top, 10 films that he filmed. And I thought that he was really fun in it. I liked him with the long hair. I thought he looked really cool. And I also thought that he just worked well with everyone in the film and gave us a really outstanding performance. If you haven't seen Medicine Man, definitely give it a roll. It's one of Sean Connery's best. The second film that Sean Connery did that I think doesn't get enough recognition for how great of a role it was, but also one of his few bad guy roles too as well, which you didn't see very often. And then of course is the film that stars Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes, or Ray Fiennes as he goes by. That film is called The Avengers. Oh yeah, The Avengers. Ooh, so this movie is based on the TV series of the same name back in the 60s that was made famous by none other than, who, Diana Riggs. But this film doesn't get enough credit for how fun it was. It was very campy, but at the same time, it was trying to stay to the traditions of the original show. And I thought it had a pretty decent cast, and Sean Connery was amazing as the main bad guy. Absolutely loved him in it. I thought he did an amazing job. I thought he worked really well with everyone and gave us a really great, amazing, and well-casted and crafted bad guy as well that you really hated and really wanted to see him lose. And at the same time, you're kind of rooting him on, too, at the same time because he just was so good at the role. Definitely worth a check out if you're a huge Sean Connery fan. Definitely give it a try, people. The Avengers is not too shabby of a film. Now, it comes to, once again, Sean Connery's performance in this James Bond film. Once again, I felt he got better and better with each film, and this one is no exception. I really enjoyed him in it. I thought he was really fun. I love some of the campiness that he provided and some great jokes that he says throughout the film. I liked his interactions with the other actors and so forth throughout the film, and I just thought his action even got better in this film with some of the fight choreography and stuff like that. Really impressive. Really enjoyed it, and thought he did a great job. So that brings me to the second actor I like to talk about that was in this film, or actress to say. Now, if I get this name wrong, sorry, it's a really hard name to pronounce, I feel, but this is a Japanese actress who is retired, and she did a lot of, like, the Tokyo films back in, the 60s, and, did a lot of those fun kind of, like, campy type of films back in that monster movies and stuff like that, but she did a really fantastic job in this film, I feel. But that happens to be the actress known as Akiko Wakasahashi. Oh yeah, Akiko. Ooh. She was actually really good. I really enjoyed her performance in the film. and I just thought that she was a pretty decent actress and a fun, addition to this film. Now, a couple of films that I've seen that she's been in are a couple actual Godzilla type of films that I feel are some really great, 60s versions of these Godzilla films. Now, the first one happens to be the Godzilla film known as King Kong vs. Godzilla. Oh, yeah. King Kong vs. Godzilla. Ooh. This original King Kong vs. Godzilla was a masterpiece for its time. I mean, the suits and stuff like that were so campy, but at the same time, it was revolutionary for its time. And Akiko plays one of the main, Japanese actresses in the film that, is involved with the human aspect of the Godzilla vs. Kong ordeal. And for my recollection, she was actually really fun in it. I really enjoyed her in it. I thought she gave a really great performance, and gave a really great campy performance that added to the funness of this film. If you haven't seen the original King Kong vs. Godzilla, check it out for Akiko's performance. She was actually superb in it. That brings me to the second film Akiko was in. That's another Godzilla type of film. Now, this one happens to be called Gordira, the Three-Headed Monster. Oh, yeah! Gordira! Another great, Godzilla film, ahead of its time for special effects, but just a great story, great interesting aspect of this monsterverse that they would call it, and just really fun. And Akiko, once again, was another one of the kind of human aspects of the film that just, was having to deal with, trying to help Godzilla win and stuff like that. And she was really superb in it, too, as well. And I really enjoyed her. I thought that she did a good job. And even if she wasn't, known for these films, I think she still would have done a great job. I think she would have brought a great presence to us, because in You Only Live Twice, this film really showed that she has some pretty good acting chops, and that she knew what she was doing. And I feel that's what she showed in Gordira, the Three-Headed Monster. I thought she was really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely give her a roll, people, and check out her performance. And like I was saying, I thought she was fantastic in this film. I really enjoyed seeing her in this film. I thought she was a great James Bond girl. I thought she did an amazing job in bringing a great class to the character. And I just thought that she was really fantastic in the film. If you're a fan of Akiko, definitely check out her performance in You Only Live Twice. She was great. So that brings me to the final actor I'm going to talk about in this film. And that is none other than Dr. Loomis himself, Mr. Donald Pleasence. Oh yeah! Donald Pleasence! Oh my god, I love this guy. I thought he was such an amazing actor. Always enjoyed him. Thought he always brought a great passion to his roles. Always gave really amazing performances. And always put his heart and soul into his performances, and I always enjoyed that. Now, a couple of films I really enjoyed that he was in were none other than, of course, the 1978 film that really made him a household name, and that, of course, is Halloween. Yeah, Halloween, John Carpenter film. Him as Dr. Loomis, he was really fantastic. It's too bad he didn't have a huger role in the first film as this character. I mean, he had a pretty substantial role, but too bad he didn't have more to show, because, really Jamie Lee Curtis really was the main actress of this film. And, Donald Pleasence's character of giving us this introduction to Dr. Loomis was just really on point and fun, and just a really decent performance that put a lot of, I feel, professional, realism into the character, and giving us what a person in his position, what they actually would do. And I thought he really brought that to point and gave us a really fantastic performance. If you haven't seen Halloween yet, definitely check it out, people. Donald Pleasence was amazing in it. Now that brings me to the second film that Donald Pleasence was in that I really enjoyed, and that, of course, is actually another film that is another horror icon classic called The Prince of Darkness. Oh yeah! Ooh, yeah! This is a great film. Donald Pleasence plays a priest character in this film, and he's basically the main character, and he's trying to basically save the world from evil, basically. And it's just one of those films that just, hands down, is just really amazing. It has really gained a cult following over the years. But this film is just really excellent. The visual effects, from the whole screenplay to the thoughts of the film, just how it plays out, was just really fantastic. And Donald Pleasence was so amazing in it, and gave us this really surreal and great performance as well. that I thought was hands down or just a really amazing performance that he should have got more credit for. He was so good in it. If you haven't seen The Prince of Darkness, definitely check it out, people. It is worth the watch. Now, it comes to his performance as the bad guy in You Only Live Twice. I loved it. I thought he was fantastic. I loved the, funny kind of interesting side he gave to it. I thought he gave a little humor to it. He gave it seriousness, but at the same time, he gave it some really good camp, too, as well. I just really appreciated the role. I thought he did a fantastic job, and he was really awesome as that main villain. So, what is You Only Live Twice about? Basically, this time around, Bond is once again having to save the world again from the evil clutches of Donald Pleasence, main bad guy character. And basically, what happens is, in this one, is the Russians are involved, and they're using this like space machine or like a astronaut machine, spaceship, to basically want to take nuclear warheads up into space and basically cause the world to obey them, basic kind of deal. And it's up to Bond to basically save the world to stop them from doing this. And it was so fun and campy, hilarious, lots of great action, great screenplay, and just really well done. Roald Dahl actually wrote the screenplay for this film, which I thought was really interesting, if you didn't know that. But yeah, he did the screenplay for this, and I thought he did a really good job. All around, I thought it was a really fantastically done film, way better than Thunderball, way better than Dr. No, and From Russia with Love. I give it, I put it up there with Goldfinger. It was really amazing and fun film. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this one. Must-see of the James Bond series, and definitely check it out if you haven't, people. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and also thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here, or if you've been here before, don't forget to check out those awesome links down below where you can find my awesome merch down there, people. Oh yeah, like my Patreon, or TeePublic, or, the Horror Pack, all that kind of good stuff. So if that's something interesting, definitely check out the link down below, people. They're really awesome. As always, people, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.